It's Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerantz in Long Beach. Today we are joined by Charlie Parkin. He is the city attorney for the city of Long Beach. And so often in the print media, God bless my friends in the print media, we see splashy headlines about huge judgments against cities, huge settlements against cities for alleged wrongdoing. But I understand recently you have kind of looked into claims made against your city, a major city in California. And I want to talk about that because it is an issue that kind of gets people going. Give me a sense of how many claims, for example, the city of Long Beach will face in a given time period.
Brad, over the course of a year, we may see 800 to over 1,000 claims in a year, in a calendar year is how we track them.
And when we say claims, this would be if there was a lawsuit, Long Beach as defendant.
Correct. In most of the cases involving public entities, the person wishing to sue the city has to first file a claim. That's not the case in all of them, but the majority of them. So this is the beginning of the stage of litigation.
And that's what's interesting about this, is because there's a sense among so many in the public that if one should file a claim against a public entity, it's going to get denied. What have you learned through your report, which, by the way, you just issued?
There we go. Thank you very much. Yes, we did. We've been looking at this, and you're right. We get accused of rubber stamping and denying claims. And what we've seen is we have accepted liability in about 30% of the claims in the first quarter, and we pay those. Sometimes we'll negotiate them, like the insurance. We may accept liability, but we argue about how much we pay. How much is that worth? Do we need to replace the car, or can we fix the bumper?
I'm going to be honest, that's higher than I would have expected.
Yeah,
and nothing against you, but that's a bit higher than I would have expected.
Right, and some of them are smaller claims. Some of them are you know, our officer or our trash truck driver just made the turn a little too sharp.
And let's talk about that, because this report clearly indicates what types of claims are being filed. So when you look at claims during this snapshot in time, where are the claims most prevalent, most prominent?
That's a great question. We try and break them down, and the purpose of this report is to help our departments and the city manage risk. And so if we're seeing trends where maybe we can do some training on driving, or we can do some potholes, or we have certain areas of the city where we see more claims, then we think we can help Public Works or the police department or fire department, whoever it is. We see, they're all over the board. We see tree claims, a lot of tree claims, and we break that down into two different types.
Okay, but is that the street maintenance claims?
Yes.
And so it does seem that street maintenance is the big winner when
it
comes to claims being made. And it does beg the question, because this is not unique to Long Beach, but I believe in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, the type of tree that was planted, I can't remember the name, but it was a tree that loves to eat up sidewalks.
We have a lot of those, and a couple of different types of trees. One is the ficus tree that has a tremendous root system, and it's a beautiful canopy and a beautiful tree, but it's the sidewalk's enemy. You're right.
Clearly, and people are tripping on those sidewalks, something fierce.
And that's, you know, our policymakers in the city have to balance that beautiful tree and the sidewalk, and sometimes we will repair a sidewalk, and then several years later we come back and we'll have to repair it again.
But here's the question, and again, I know this isn't what you get to decide. I mean, there's a lot of things you get to decide, but you know, there's a discussion, and I'm wondering how you can offer guidance. You know, is it time to replace the tree?
Right.
And so, are you able to use this report to show that, you know, maybe it's time to look at replacing the tree or removing the tree, or?
And that's what, this is our first report, and what we're hoping is, yes, this is the first time we've done this in our office, and what we're hoping to do is build on this quarterly and to be able to develop some sort of a pattern. So if we start seeing that, we have empirical data to show where we're paying money, how we're paying it out, and hopefully we can reduce our output.
I know you're new to the job, so I feel at ease asking you this question. How did we not have this report before?
Well,
I mean,
that's a great
amazing.
question.
I mean, nothing, no aspersions to your predecessor, but it seems like
we had all the information. We haven't compiled it and presented it to our departments in this format, or we never really published a report. This will be available on our website eventually, and everyone will get to see it. And I'm hoping they'll give me input so it's a useful benefit and a tool for them.
So the next highest claim appears to be police-driven. What's your sense on that? It's very easy to make a claim against the police. I don't know how easy it is to be successful.
That's correct. And we have all different categories of claims against the police, everything from excessive force to maybe an auto accident where the officer was inattentive or maybe bumped into somebody. So it is the entire spectrum. And so, and police are obviously out in the street 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So that their contacts with individuals and the public is much greater than some of our departments.
I just spoke with the police chief of Signal Hill, and they are adopting body cams.
Oh, yes.
And so I don't know where Long Beach is on this, but how valuable is that tool, either in-car cams or body cams, cell phone cams, when you're looking at claims?
That's to be determined.
Okay.
We are also going to be rolling out body cams in the hopefully by late summer.
Okay, so
as a pilot program in one division of the city on the afternoon shift. And we're currently working with the police department on the policies and written guidelines of the body cam. When do you turn them on? When do you turn them off? What's the appropriate? Is the officer allowed to look at the camera video before they write the report or after the report?
I mean, it's interesting because this is where the city prosecutor and the city attorney intersect.
Right.
Because you're dealing with the civil side, he's dealing with the criminal side. So is that where do you and Mr. Halbert get together to figure this out? Or?
We're taking the lead, and we write the policy or assist the police department in writing their policy for body cameras. It'll be yet to be determined how that video assists Mr. Halbert in his prosecution of the cases. I mean, obviously that's the goal, but the other goal, I think from body camera perspectives and what some of the data shows is we'll see a reduction in use of force claims, maybe the public will react better, and so we're coming out from that span.
So you pay about 30% of the claims right out of the box. Is there a trend on what types of claims tend to get paid?
Some of our auto accidents.
Right, so it's cut and dry.
Cut and dry. Maybe we have some property damage. We have some tree branches maybe fall on a car. Those kind of things.
So those are clear.
If we can't resolve it or we can't, then it's denied, and usually maybe 30% of those will be filed as a lawsuit.
And that's what I was going to ask you about 30%. No, it's all good. 30% pay out right out of the box through settlement, 30% go to lawsuit, 40% no claim filed. Okay. So when there's a lawsuit, what happens? Do you have litigators on staff? Do you look to outside litigation firms?
A little bit of both. We try and handle as many cases as we can in-house. We have 6 attorneys in the Long Beach City Attorney's Office that handle litigation, generally defense work, but we also own a lot of property, so we'll do some plaintiff's work. Contracts or rental agreements or those kind of things. But generally speaking, it's defending the city in various actions, and so our claims division, we try and get them to work up the claim so that if it does turn into a lawsuit, our litigation section has presented a package that's evaluated the claim, identified the key witnesses, the key issues, and so our attorneys can take it from there.
How do you decide as the chief, I guess I'll say litigator in a way, you know, the head of the office, whether to hire outside counsel? Because while their expertise can be invaluable, their bills can be exorbitant.
Absolutely correct, and we are trying to make sure our client, the city council, is informed when we're spending that money on outside counsel. We generally try and limit that to either conflict cases or cases...
Conflicts meaning there's a conflict that...
Within our office or within the employee where we cannot legally defend the city in that situation, and or specialty areas, maybe a bankruptcy or a big class action suit where one case may dominate the entire time of our one employee.
I want you to come back when you do this again, because I think it's interesting. I'd love to hear about more trends, because a city of the size of Long Beach, my guess is your stats will be replicated in other cities as well.
I think so. I think we've talked to some other cities, and I think we'll see that.
His name is Charlie Parkin. He is the city attorney in the city of Long Beach. My name is Brad Palmer. This is Charter Local Edition.